So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally...
Finally, after months of watching Nike mess up with their star, they've finally done something right. Caitlin Clark just got the commercial she truly deserves, and wow, the haters are losing it. Tears are flowing, keyboards are on fire, and the salt is so real it could rival the Dead Sea.
Already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
Nike just dropped that Kobe-style commercial for Caitlin Clark's new PE sneakers, and it's like they finally remembered why they signed her. She's the most magnetic player in the game, the one who dragged women's basketball into the spotlight and packs arenas like she's handing out free cash. Now, she finally has an ad that matches her energy, and the critics? They're few.
And Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear her.
Let's talk about what Nike just unleashed. This isn't just a commercial, it's a statement. When Caitlin sits in that chair, laces up those Kobe 5s, and her eyes shift into those snake-like slits, channeling that Mamba mentality, Nike is telling the world exactly who runs this league. The visuals, the cinematography, the vibe, it's all top tier. This is the kind of treatment reserved for true superstars, not the leftovers women's basketball has been handed for decades.
Got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We have the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on Demon Time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as a Caitlin logo. Or sorry,
And here come the usual suspects, crawling out of their caves to complain. Why does she get all the attention? What about the other players? She's only in her second year. The same tired chorus that's been whining since Caitlin stepped onto a pro court. But they won't say what's staring them in the face. Caitlin Clark is the face of women's basketball. And Nike finally had the guts to market her like it.
People felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, no one had... I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't, allow, even his family, I'm pretty sure, is not just going to give his signature shoe to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even got...
You know what the best part is? Those shoes sold out in 5 minutes. 5. People camped on the Nike SNKRS app like it was a Travis Scott drop. The $190 retail price vanished before you could even refresh the page. Within 2 hours, pairs were flipping on eBay for $375. By the end of the day, StockX had them averaging $365, with some hitting $800. That's not manufactured hype. That's the Caitlin Clark effect, real demand, real impact.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here. No, I don't want to pay $600 on.
If you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. Meanwhile, the critics are seething. Why? Because Nike finally acknowledged what the numbers have been screaming for over a year. Caitlin Clark is the player driving WNBA viewership to its highest levels in 24 years. The league is averaging 657,000 viewers per game, and 19 of the 22 games that crossed 1 million viewers? They featured Caitlin and the Indiana Fever. She doesn't just move the needle, she snaps it off and launches it into orbit. But let's talk about the elephant in the room that's had everyone twisted. For months, Nike caught heat for slow playing Caitlyn while putting their energy into promoting Aya Wilson's signature shoe.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her, no collab.
The Aya versus Caitlyn discourse got toxic real fast, because people keep making it about everything except what it really is, business. Nike got dragged by former employees, including 15-year vet Jordan Rodgers, who called them out for sitting on the biggest needle mover in American sports since Michael Jordan, and somehow thinking it made sense to slow play her. The drama hit a peak when Aya Wilson revealed she'd known about her Nike deal for 2 years, yet acted like she'd been passed over when Caitlyn's contract was announced. Cue the tweets, the subtweets, the passive-aggressive jabs, all while sitting on a signature shoe deal she kept quiet. Talk about manufactured drama. But that's what happens when a player transcends the sport, and certain corners of the internet just can't handle it.
Stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature shoe.
Now Nike is course-correcting and going all in on their biggest asset. That Kobe-inspired commercial isn't just smart marketing, it's Nike finally realizing what they have. Caitlin Clark isn't just another WNBA player you can treat like an afterthought. She's a cultural phenomenon. She brings everyone to the table, families, kids, men who never watched women's basketball, and casuals who turn into diehards. She expands the universe of the sport. The ad connects her to Kobe's legacy in a way that feels real, not forced. She's worn Kobe since college, called them her magic shoes, her babies. So when she channels that Mamba mentality in the ad, it's not cosplay, it's a recognition of a kindred spirit. The late, great Kobe would have loved this. A player who attacks the game with the same obsession, the same fire, and the same power to elevate everyone around them.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlin Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that. But that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are indeed.
Here's what really has the haters pressed. Nike is finally treating Caitlin Clark like the main event, not a co-star, not a side act. Her signature shoe is reportedly dropping later this year, and it's almost guaranteed to shatter every record in women's sports marketing. Nike making Clark the centerpiece flips decades of sports marketing on its head. For years, women's sports were treated as secondary content, with only 0.4% of total sports sponsorships going to female athletes. But now, by putting Caitlin front and center, like in their first Super Bowl ad in nearly 30 years, Nike is proving that women athletes deserve the same premium treatment reserved for male superstars. That 8-year, $28 million deal? It's starting to look like the bargain of the century. It's the biggest endorsement deal in women's basketball history, and more than just a check, it's a signal to the entire sports world. Women's basketball is commercially viable, powerful, and worth the investment. Other brands are watching, and now they'll have no excuse not to follow Nike's lead.
Finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something.
The resale market doesn't lie. When your player-exclusive Cobes hit $8,000 on StockX and move 756 pairs at an average of $365, nearly double the retail price, you're not dealing with normal athlete hype. This is superstar territory. This is Jordan-level cultural impact. Only 13,000 pairs were made for the initial drop, and they still couldn't meet demand. That's how powerful Caitlin Clark's brand is. Everything she touches turns into a sellout. Now look at the WNBA numbers since her arrival. The league hadn't seen a 7-figure TV audience in 16 years, until Caitlin. Now, it's routine. Her games average 1.09 million viewers, more than double the 414,000 for non-Clark games. In-person attendance? When Clark plays, WNBA games average 15,591 fans, compared to just 7,645 without her. That's a 105% increase. On the road, opposing teams see 87% spikes in attendance when Clark visits. Her games account for 33.5% of total WNBA attendance, despite being just a small fraction of the total schedule.
I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 Eggplant had just 30,000 pairs on Nike.